I don't think you realise the implications of all this. Let me walk you through it. I'll try and run you through it. World's fastest bumper car update. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. So the shaft itself, i.e. the round bit, has to stay in roughly the same elevation up and down here to marry up with all that shit underneath. And meanwhile, these boys have to end up at roughly the same height in terms of ground clearance because they got to marry up with these bits, which of course married to these bits, which are already pretty much fixed. So we might have to even create some new angle brackets there. So let's get measuring and calculating without any further pontificating. Well, folks, that's where it's got to sit, which is considerably lower, obviously. And we got quite a sizable gap over here. 40 mil to be precise. What's that going to look like? Anyway, we'll come back to that. We've got more exciting things. We have a parcel. Fuel lamp. Sounds good. Fuel pump. Or is it a bomb? No, I don't know. Let's have a look. Could be a bomb. There we go. One fuel pump. Nice. Nothing to mount it with. Guess we'll have to come up with something. And then here we have the fancy fuel regulator. There we go. No instructions. Something to mount it with. Scan me. Alright, we'll do that then. Instructions now online. Okay, here we go. Seems like we need a few connectors for various fuel lines, etc., which we shall get from our friends at Evil Energy. Why not? And there seems to be a whole load more gubbins along the way. Including a filter. That's probably a good idea. Probably should get one of those. I shall confer with Mr. Griggs and get back to you. Don't even know if we've got room for all that shit between there and there. I'll have to find room. Meanwhile, what's the plan for all this? Yeah. So I was thinking something like this. With a cross brace, then fit something to that. But of course we can't do that because we'd lose all the adjustment on the toe in, toe out. Back to the drawing board. What can I say? Monkey man, what shall we do? Quit, apparently. So we've got to drop that 40 mil. And that is about 50 mil. No reason that can't go underneath that. And that is about 10 mil. Oh, I know, a lot of approximations and abouts involved. So how about we try it, see what happens. Something like that, yeah. So that means we've dropped, or raised, in fact, the whole front end by 2 inches, those 2 inches of the frame. So it'll all be riding higher by 2 inches, which obviously we'll have to compensate for at the back, but luckily we haven't even started on that. My only concern with this, and it's not really a true concern obviously, is that these are not supported by this anymore, but then they kind of weren't anyway because of our adjustment. and the fact that they're hanging outside. So that's how we had them before anyway, so they weren't getting any support by being down the side of the chassis rail there. So I guess it's not an issue, and they are pretty thick and solid. I think they're good enough. And of course the holes we drilled are not in the right place, but that'll give us some more adjustment, I suppose. So I shall continue to mess around with that and not bore you any further with it. Suffice to say, perhaps we found a solution. Now all we've got to do is find out how to mount that there. I'm thinking 2 big kind of straps. But what do I know? It's all getting more and more fragile, honestly. Interested to hear what you think down here. Comments, please. Aha! We have a mounting bracket. Jolly nice too. Well, of course it's not quite the right size. What do you expect? Thing we can't sort out with a bit of tape, hopefully. There, that kind of works. An additional sleeve. So I'm thinking that's most likely go somewhere like that, because we've got to get from here, get a fuel filter in there somewhere, then to there, and then up to our fuel rail. Right, a lot more goodies arrived. What we got? It's evil. Some solutions, hopefully. First off, some P-clips. Yeah. See how they work out. What's he got those for? Next up, a small package. Because good things come in small packages, apparently. Yeah, so this is potentially our new steering rack mounting device. We shall see. And last but not least, the evil. This is our fuel filter, contrary to Kurt's advice, because he reckoned just any old thing from O'Reilly's would do, so I thought we might as well go for this. It looks a little bit more robust, doesn't it? I don't know. We'll see. It's a big hole. At least it has a mounting bracket, so you don't have to buy one, right? Unlike the pump, and a bunch of fittings. Good. So talking of the pump, that's where the P-clips come in, because this, even with the sleeve here, is still kind of loose, right? And that's tightened up. Oops. Whereas this works perfectly, and that means we can hang it this way. We just have to do 2, and we've got 200, so that's good. And what I mean is we can like hang it like here, right, horizontally as opposed to vertically, which we'd have had to do with the other one, which doesn't make a lot of sense. So I like that a lot better. Very nice. If anyone wants it, let me know. Looks remarkably similar to that one. And not 100% sure of the sequence of events, but I think it goes tank, filter, pump, regulator, fuel rail, other regulator, back to the tank. And again, conferring with our fuel system expert, Mr. Griggs. There's nothing he doesn't know about fuel, not least of all because he used to drill it out of the ground. All over the world. Anyway, let's get this filter put together, which has a handy arrow to show the direction of flow. That's good. So we're going to use these, which are, I believe, are 8AN fittings, because that matches the ones we're already using. So that'll work. So going on. I think we need an O-ring this end as well. Don't supply one, but don't worry, we have 419 minus the 2 that we used on the Kawasaki. I think we can find one that will fit. So a fuel line is going to have to do something like that. Not ideal. I did look at turning that around 90 degrees and having the outlet coming out this side, but then the chain and everything's going to get in the way, so we're going to have to live with that. So we haven't got a lot of room to play with, really. I guess pump, I don't know which way around that goes, we'll have to find out, obviously. Pump there, that's tiny gap. Filter there, yeah. And regulator, don't know, so running out of room. Down here, I suppose it could go on that bit. Bloody hell, need a bigger bumper car. Riveting stuff, this. One fuel filter mounted. Next up, pump. And I beg its pardon, we have flowage. So I'm a little confused as usual, but I think what we need to do is mount this one lower so that the nozzle goes under the chassis there. The regulator I think is going to have to go here somewhere, and then we go up to the fuel rail. And I say that because on each end of these things we got to fit one of those things, and they're quite long, so we need room for a bit of tube as well. So I don't think we can have it like here. I think it needs to be kind of as far away as possible. Give us some scope, right? I think so. Right, so that's that and that. We've secured our line to the fuel rail down here with another P-clip. Handy things, those P-clips. So I think our fuel regulator is going to have to sit here somewhere. It's supposed to have a gauge, I think. Otherwise, what's the point if you can't see what the pressure is? So yes, there's that. We need one of those. I mean, yeah, its mountings are on here, so something like that, I guess. I think at this point it's best to defer to Mr. Griggs, see what he has to say about the whole damn thing. And on that note, I think we'll call it a day for this time round. So any comments gratefully received as per usual about what I've done wrong, what I should be doing, and that kind of stuff. Still waiting to hear some advice on steering up the front there, whether it's all too flimsy, etc. So do leave comments down below while you're subscribing if you haven't already. Yes, and of course give the video a thumbs up. Yeah, what else? Oh yeah, encourage others to watch my lunacy.